I'm Kingsley Wilson. I'm the press secretary here at the Pentagon. We're in the Pentagon briefing room, and it's been fantastic. Get to come to the Pentagon every day, and now you all do as well.
Yeah. So this is my first question, and don't laugh. Does the DOW have any evidence at all of a French military plot to assassinate Candace Owens?
That is an interesting question. Not that I'm aware of, but, interesting question. I can try to find out and maybe let you know. I think that might be more of a law enforcement matter, though.
Okay, so I've been staying kind of far away from the whole Candace Owens, TPUSA, Charlie Kirk allegations, et cetera, et cetera. I know you guys are all aware of it for many reasons, mostly because I'm still haunted by Charlie Kirk's just brutal murder. And I just didn't want to do that to him. I have so much respect for him and his family. But then things have changed. So first, TPUSA has broken their silence. They've been silent this entire time. Candace has been doing her Candace thing. And I'm going to share with you, the producer of TPUSA, Blake Neff, has issued a gauntlet to Candace Owens. And as of this recording, she hasn't responded back. I'm going to play for you what exactly he said. This is major breaking news that TPUSA has finally responded in some form or another, as well as another gentleman that you might remember we had on our show back in September of 2024, a few months before the election, has now entered the fray, and Project Veritas has identified some text messages which are impossible. I've verified them. I've corroborated them. This is another reason I haven't really, besides the massive respect I have for Charlie Kirk, but another reason I haven't gotten too involved in the Candace Owens things. One, I hate infighting. I think we should all be on the same team. I don't know what's going on, this kind of dissension amongst people who believe in America, America first, who are not liberal scum. I don't like that, A. But B, I haven't been able to corroborate anything Candace has said. And so I've been kind of staying away from that. But remember this guy right here? Some of you guys probably remember, this is Armstrong Williams. And Project Veritas, like I said, got a hold of some text messages that he sent to a whistleblower who was apparently giving out information to Candace Owens. And these are the most, they make Letitia James's text messages look like, sandbox, kids play, kindergarten. Wait till you see what I'm about to share with you. But first, I want to go back to our show, just share with you this clip of Armstrong Williams, who is a big-time conservative commentator in Washington. He also has interviewed Kash Patel. He's interviewed the president. He's involved in a lot of the Washington kind of established individuals, Bill Barr, which I'll talk about in a second. He came on our show to discuss a whistleblower who he confirmed worked in his office. So he came on our show. I gave him an opportunity to deflect and debunk the claims of the whistleblower who said that he was colluding with Fani Willis and Bill Barr to go after Trump. And then he did this. Watch. So I want to hear from you. What do you say to people, though, who say that, well, of course you're going to say this because, or of course you're going to, why did you hire somebody that supposedly had this track record or criminal record as you guys purport to bring forth?
I've already answered that.
Okay. So we have Patricia here. I'm going to bring her up.
Oh, no, you're not. You're not going to bring her up on there with me. Kevin, disconnect me. He has Patricia he's trying to bring up. Disconnect me. We had an agreement that I would come on. So, no. You're not. Listen, you can play that game with everybody else. I'm done. I said what I needed to say. I'm not going to ever communicate with
Okay, Armstrong, I'm not trying to blindside you. No. I'm not trying to blindside you. So he walked off our set. He basically walked off the set. I always felt that there was something off about that, to put it mildly. I mean, if you have nothing to hide, this is kind of what Trump does. If you got nothing to hide, what are you so afraid of? Speak, talk, answer. face whatever they're saying about you head on, radical transparency, et cetera, et cetera. Trump has exhibited that time and time again. And so when this guy entered the fray, and I'm going to share with you some really interesting, damning evidence where Project Veritas has posted, and I verified this, I researched this, text messages linked to the phone number of Armstrong Williams. And I'm going to share those with you right now. Wait till you see the last line, which to me just opens up the floodgates. And if Tyler Robinson really did this by himself, why would you even say that? Do you think I didn't notice you handed your text messages about Candace over to Veritas? You're being far too brazen. I know you're without a lawyer. How on earth do you think pulling a stunt like that helps you? You better remember every single day that you're only alive because of me and that you were never extradited because of me as well. The next time I see any of your messages leaked to Veritas, things are going to change. Barr, indicating Bill Barr, former attorney general who worked under Trump, is already running out of patience with your behavior. Be careful. He continues, is Candace paying for your security these days? Because if she isn't, she really ought to be. And now that you're on her team and act like the two of you are thick as thieves, you can pass along a little message for me. Things won't end well for either of you if this nonsense keeps up. Just take a good, hard look at what happened with Kirk, and maybe you'll think twice. Holy macadamian nut. Oh my goodness. Okay, as you can see, that completely changes everything. And again, I'm sharing this video because I have done my due diligence of research, and that number is linked to Armstrong Williams. And it really kind of aligns with what my thoughts on him are in general. He's a coward. He won't face the truth. He gives off this energy that lacks integrity, that lacks straightforwardness in every single facet of what I've encountered personally and what I've seen him do professionally. He seems like a grifter, like somebody who likes to exploit people. He doesn't seem trustworthy whatsoever. And that's just on a professional. On a personal gut level, he seems like a slime ball, like a total, complete slime ball. Am I wrong? Potentially. But those text messages right there, especially the part about Kirk, holy macadamia nut. Now, am I saying that Candace Owens is right about everything that she's saying? No. But this does open up a whole new can of worms. And this whole idea of Bill Barr, and Project Veritas has also said this. They have said that following our reporting about corruption leaked to Armstrong Williams, including operating an alleged visa scheme with former AG Bill Barr, FBI Director Cash failed to respond to our multiple comment requests and instead granted an exclusive interview to Armstrong Williams. That is interesting too. And ladies and gentlemen, this connects to Epstein. Check this out. Bill Barr was tied to Armstrong Williams, tied to Fannie Willis, going after, that's what this initial whistleblower, which is why I had him on my show. Now there's this sort of comment by Bill Barr's daughter responding to Veritas about all these claims that there's any connection between Armstrong, Barr, Candace Owens, Kirk, et cetera, et cetera. The connection between the Barr family and Jeffrey Epstein is well documented, folks, primarily through Donald Barr, the father of Bill Barr. He served as a headmaster of the Dalton School in New York City from 1964 to 1974, during which time he hired Epstein as a math teacher in 1974, despite Epstein lacking a college degree and being only 21 years old at the time. Epstein taught there until 76, and former students have recalled him as charismatic, but unconventional in his behavior. Let me say that again. Charismatic, but unconventional in his behavior. Boy, does that sound creepy and authentic. William Barr himself has direct ties. As Attorney General in 2019, he initially stated he would not recuse himself from Epstein's federal sex trafficking case, but later did so for certain aspects due to prior professional associations. His former law firm had represented Epstein and the family history. So again, getting back to Project Veritas, they claimed that William Barr's daughter, Mary Daly, was involved in orchestrating blackmail and smear efforts against Candace Owens in 2021, including leaked texts referencing threats and impatience from Barr. However, representatives for Mary Daly have stated that these texts are fabricated and no lawsuits or official denials from the involved parties have materialized as of now. So these aren't directly involving Epstein, but there's a pattern of family influence in controversial matters, to say the least. Candace also released a statement not that long ago, just a few days ago, saying definitively she has now confirmed beyond any shadow of doubt that TPUSA and the people in charge over there had something to do with Charlie Kirk's end, and she is 100% convinced of that. Here now, I want to play for you, is TPUSA breaking their silence and responding directly to Candace Owens. Watch.
We wanted to use this segment at the top of this hour to say something important, something very important. For the past 2.5 months, there is a topic that has flooded our Freedom inbox. It has been nonstop on social media, but which we have almost totally avoided on this show. You probably already know what I'm talking about, which shows just how ubiquitous it has been. Ever since Charlie's murder, Candace Owens has leveled a flood of allegations against people at Turning Point USA, people at Turning Point Action, and people who work for this show. She has made them against some of Charlie's closest friends and against some of his most dedicated employees. She has suggested that Michael McCoy, Charlie's chief of staff, knew Charlie would be murdered, was happy that he died, and stayed silent because he was told he would be the next Charlie. She has suggested Michael is not his real name. It is. I have seen his birth certificate myself. She has called it suspicious that Mikey's wife, who works at Turning Point, helped plan the campus tour event where Charlie was murdered, which she didn't, by the way. She doesn't work on campus events. Candace has suggested the Utah Valley University event was unusual and its details suggested a, quote, inside job. She has claimed that foreign aircraft have followed Erica Kirk around the country and that Turning Point has lied about this happening. She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting Erica to take over for him if he died. She has suggested Charlie's security team intentionally denied him first aid after the shooting to ensure that he died. She has raised suspicions about the head of our technical team because he took an SD card out of a camera. She has spread absurd claims that Tyler Boyer, who we just had on the show, sexually abuses male interns. She has suggested that TPUSA faith-affiliated pastors, like theologian Frank Turek, who we'll have on in a moment, and Pastor Rob McCoy, are part of a military, quote, infiltration of Turning Point, either because they are veterans or because they have family members who are. Even if not everyone has been named specifically, though, Candace has effectively tarred everyone here with complicity in Charlie's death by repeatedly saying he was, quote, betrayed by, quote, everyone. She has said Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too for, quote, knowing the truth. She has made claims of financial impropriety and fraud at Turning Point, adding up into the millions of dollars, which, again, is not true. Charlie made sure the organization was audited by a third party every year. He personally reviewed and he signed off on every expense report, and literally every single bill paid by the organization down to a single United States dollar. We have never missed a 990 deadline. Candace has made other stranger allegations involving French paratroopers in maroon shirts, Egyptian Air Force planes flying out of Provo, Utah, and potential underground assassins traveling through unseen tunnels. At one point in early November, she started wildly throwing suspicion on members of Utah Valley's soccer team for wearing hoodies. I could go on. There is always something new coming up, and none of it ever pans out because, from the start, there has been nothing there. The attacks and allegations from Candace are either lies or they are innuendos thrown around with a total, reckless disregard for the truth so that Candace can manipulate and string along an audience of people who don't realize they are being played. Instead of being able to grieve properly after one of the most heinous murders in American history, a murder many of us had to witness, my friends have had to endure harassment from people who have gotten whipped up by what Candace is saying. In fact, I would say we have suffered more harassment from these people than we have from Antifa supporters who overtly celebrate Charlie's murder. And just like a lot of those Antifa members, many of these people take this delight in how gross and unpleasant they can be. What our friends have had to endure is not funny, and it's not insignificant. It is evil. I have seen it. For months, we have received hundreds, thousands, I suspect, emails and calls asking us to respond. People have wanted us to invite Candace on the show, but for a long time, our approach was to say nothing. We did that for several reasons. First, we thought that her prevarications were so absurd that nobody would believe them. We shouldn't have to answer questions about secret tunnels or Egyptian Air Force planes. That sort of thing is just, it's beneath contempt to respond to. The second reason we've said so little, though, is because there's a good rule of thumb, which Charlie followed. Do not feed the trolls. Focus on the mission. Reviving America, uplifting young people, making heaven crowded. Don't give air to people who want to tear you down and sow discord. Lastly, we didn't respond because Charlie always viewed Candace as a friend, and we were holding out hope that she would return that friendship and stop what she was doing. But a week from now, it's going to be 3 months since Charlie's murder. Candace has not changed her behavior. She has continued to spread falsehoods about Charlie's friends, and she continues to concoct new ones about new people. She's using these falsehoods to enrich herself while dividing the conservative movement at an absolutely critical time for this country. And far too often, we here have heard from ordinary people, people who loved Charlie and who Charlie loved so much in return. These people have expressed the worry that we are staying silent out of cowardice or as some sort of tacit admission that some of the attacks are true. Neither is the case. Our silence has never been, and it will never be, equal to complacency or approval. Still, we decided Charlie would not allow this to go on. Charlie was not a coward. Charlie was a fighter. Charlie would not allow someone to spread lies about the people closest to him with impunity. And he would feel ashamed if other people were stepping up to defend his friends while he never did so himself. Candace has mentioned several times that the ball is in our court. So here's what is going to happen. In the near future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and accusations, the false accusations that have been made against Charlie's family, friends, and the people here at Turning Point. We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court. Our motivation for doing this is not out of any obligation to Candace. It is about honoring Charlie. We feel a deep responsibility to protect his legacy, his work, and the truth. I feel that. I owe Charlie everything in my life. I feel it immensely. And that is why we feel compelled to speak clearly and openly now. We'll have more on this in the near future.
So whether you believe either person, TPUSA or Candace Owens, one thing is absolutely true is that this has been very kind of divisive. And I've always been after one thing and one thing only, the truth. And I can't wait to get your thoughts on this, of where you think this is going. The text message of especially the part where there was mention of Kirk, and if you remember Charlie, you might want to think twice. That is a very, very, very inflammatory and provocative thing, to say the very least, and maybe damning evidence that something definitely is weird. I mean, the Tyler Robinson guy working alone seems extremely odd and weird. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. There's obviously a lot of people who think Candace Owens brings the receipts. There's also a lot of people that I trust, people that I feel have validity in this world, who are saying that she's on Fruit Loops world. It's completely out of nowhere. She has no corroborating evidence. She has no, other than trends and weird emails from anonymous sources. I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. It has definitely piqued my interest since Armstrong's inclusion and Project Veritas getting involved in those text messages. I can't wait to hear from you. And as soon as Candace responds, or if this actually happens, we got to talk about it, and I'll keep you up to date. Tap that thumbs up if you love America. Even if you're watching on your TV, you can do it with your remote. It helps us out immeasurably. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It doesn't cost you a thing. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.